Thank you very much. First, I'd like to welcome you and to thank you very much to take the time to come with us. What we want is to be able to share with you our intention for the activities in Egypt for Sony Ericsson. And to share with you a little bit of the background, some of you familiar with the industry, you probably know that Sony Ericsson has gone through a major turnaround, a major transformation over the last 2 years. And Sony Ericsson was a brand positioning to, you would say, traditional feature phones. And we really realized that the internet would change something, that we had to adapt. So we had to take the decision to change ourselves and to push ourselves to be more focused on mobile internet, and this means smartphones. It means that we had to decide to change our development, to invest into new technical platforms, hardware, software, to make decisions which way we would go. We've made a clear decision to first invest a lot on Android, and the biggest reason for that is that we believe that Android being open will offer the possibility to bring mobile internet to the mass market, not keep it to the elite, to only a small part of the market, but really to bring it to a mass consumer market, and quite quickly actually. So we've decided to invest there. We will go through a bit more detail there. But of course, when you go into transforming yourself, changing, you also have to look at where you focus. And once we had made that decision to focus on mobile internet, smartphone more, it was also about where. And myself, I started this position for Sony Ericsson to take responsibility for what is called the Central Europe and the Middle East and Africa region about 6 months ago. And then, of course, the first thing I did was to sit with my team, and some are here, to say, you know, let's take a photography. Where is what's moving? And through that process, you know, we decided that clearly Egypt was a market that had a young population, that was communicating a lot, that tend to have a fit really with, you know, strong mobile internet for tomorrow. So then from there we decided that we would have to make much more effort in Egypt. We would have to need to focus. And today is the first milestone, first to tell, and to share with you the first step of the plans and our ambition there. So with this, I'd like to leave it to Jürgen and Patricia to tell you much more about the first steps of that story.
Hello everybody, very nice to see so many of you here. It's really an exciting moment to be here today. We hope to share some exciting stories with you, and we also hope that this will be beneficial for you and to understand where we are and where we want to be here in Egypt. Just quickly go through the agenda. I will talk a little bit about the Sony Ericsson heritage, where we come from, and also how Sony Ericsson was born. That will not take long, and then we will move into one of the key reasons for being here, and that's really about the mobile industry and trends. I mean, how do we see, what is a global picture, and where does Egypt fit into this global picture? I think that is extremely important for us to explain, because that also, let's say, justifies why we see this as a huge opportunity for us. Then we will move into the Sony Ericsson strategy. We will talk a little bit about our products and how we are planning to really convince the consumers that we are the right choice for them. When we have done that, we will spend time on the execution here in Egypt. What are we doing? How are we doing it? And with that, we will also share a little bit about our targets for next year. And when we have done that, we would like to have a Q&A and hopefully answer all exciting questions. So, our heritage. Probably most of you know, we are a company born from Sony and Ericsson, where Sony is representing a lot about consumer knowledge, and Ericsson have a lot of knowledge when it comes to the infrastructure. And the good part was that 2001, when we were created, we used the first letters in Sony and Ericsson to create the logo. And that logo we were not allowed to touch for the first 3 years. We just had it as a static logo to really make sure that the consumers connected the logo with Sony Ericsson. Over time, we have developed that logo and made it more, let's say, in line with our brand. Sony Ericsson is, as I said, was founded in 2001. Our scope is really about product development, it's about sales and marketing, and it's about design and bringing value to the consumers in a way which makes it relevant for them. And of course, a very, very important part is also to take care of our consumers when they have bought our phones, to make sure that we have a strong and good after-sales support. Our global management team is based in London, and our major product development sites are in Japan, China, Sweden, and in the States. We are a 50-50 owned company between Ericsson and Sony, and as probably most of you know, Ericsson is coming from Sweden and Sony is coming from Japan. So it's about 12 hours between the two countries if you look at the spread of the countries, and that means that we have a lot in common, in fact. So we have a lot between us, but we also have a lot in common. Our president, his name is Bert Norberg. So if we look at the Sony Ericsson and our performance and what we want to accomplish, we really want to build on the strengths of our parents. Our strengths of our parents, when it comes to consumer knowledge, Sony had a lot of experience. I mean, already in 1946, when the company was founded, they had a very clear focus on consumer electronics. And from there, they have built up content, they have built up a lot of consumer entertainment, as well as gaming and other exciting values within the company, really addressing the consumer as such. On top of that, they have been very strong in design to the consumer when it comes to television sets and other type of products. While Ericsson is more coming from the back end. They have a unique knowledge when it comes to the whole back-end side, when it comes to first telecommunication in the early 19th century, and now in the mobile industry, a leader when it comes to developing new mobile telecommunication solutions. Everything from the GSM at one point and now into the 4G technology. And they were, in fact, the first company from Sweden represented here in Africa, and they did it in a very early stage.
Okay, this was a short introduction to Sony Ericsson as a company. I would like now to give you an overview why we as Sony Ericsson are here in Africa, and specifically in Egypt. So actually Egypt we see as one of the emerging markets in the African economy when it comes to mobile. Also Africa currently is quite important when you look at the global picture. Currently globally we have around 5 billion subscribers in the world, and of course this subscription base is driven mainly by Asia Pacific, who have 70% of the total subscriptions, but Africa in this total picture takes about 10% share. And Africa, you will see, is growing. So then let's also have a look why we are now in Egypt and what Egypt takes into this big share. Within Africa, Egypt and Nigeria are the biggest markets currently, and also the ones that we foresee to be in the future biggest market in the mobile phone industry. Within the African share of subscriptions, which is around 500 million, Egypt takes around 12% of this, which is currently the second place in number of subscriptions. When we look at the number of net additions, meaning the people who have in the last year been added to the subscriber base, Egypt is even leading in Africa with 24% of this share. So Egypt currently is leading, and we see also Egypt as an emerging market in Africa as the most important. Also, if you look at the global picture and look at the top 20 markets which are here listed on the slide, Egypt currently ranks number 9 among the top 20 markets in terms of net additions. So So also in a global picture, Egypt is really important, and this is why we are here today. If you look at the subscription growth, which is actually an indicator of the future relevance, Egypt is even more important on the global picture. It's ranking number 6th in the world, with around 28% growth in the last year. This is a tremendous growth, and of course we as Sony Ericsson would like to capture on this one and build on it. Currently, and this is data we have from mid of this year, Egypt has around 65 million subscribers, and this has of course already been growing in the past half year where we don't have the data for. Actually, already mobile penetration was picking up in 2003, 2004, outgrowing the fixed line numbers in terms of subscribers, and ever since has seen a tremendous growth. Currently, we see the mobile penetration in Egypt around 80%, which is already placing it even over the world's average penetration, which is around 74% only. Egypt, nevertheless, is still growing, as we said, so 80% is not the limit, and we do see that we can take a share in this market. One important point for us is also that Egypt is currently ranking among the top 3 markets in Africa, actually on number 2 position right after South Africa, when it comes to 3G subscriptions. Sony Ericsson is focusing its portfolio on 3G phones, meaning feature phones and smartphones. This is why Egypt for us in Africa is one of the most important markets, because here we have the biggest player field that we can grab some part of the market. Also, mobile data revenues are actually growing tremendously. Currently, we're around $500 million when it comes to revenues generated from mobile services. In 2014, this is predicted to be at $1.4 million. So this is a share where we can add value also with our phones that enable